we always said that making AI behave required a human soul.
Right.
We thought this complex concept of alignment needed our empathy. It needed the messy nuance of human intuition.
Yeah, we really did.
But Anthropic just threw that assumption completely out the window. Beat. Today's stack of sources reveals a massive shift in technology. We are moving far beyond just building smart AI models.
I mean, we are crossing into entirely new territory now. We are figuring out how to successfully contain these models.
Yes.
The industry is learning how to run autonomous AI agents securely, and they're doing it at an unprecedented global scale.
You have a deeply fascinating roadmap for you today.
We really do.
We will start with Claude essentially automating its own safety protocols.
Right.
Then we will examine OpenAI's brand new agent firewall architecture. They're building an ingenious containment zone for these super agents.
It is wild.
Finally, we will look at the severe physical friction happening right now. We will explore real-world data center constraints and the shifting job market.
So before we can understand how to contain these AI agents, we have to look at what just happened internally at Anthropic.
Yeah, it changes everything we know about safety.
Exactly. We need to see what happens when agents manage their own behavior.
So Anthropic recently tested something they call weak to strong supervision.
Let's quickly clarify what that actually means.
Good idea.
It is a smaller model guiding a much smarter AI safely.
Right.
Imagine a middle school teacher trying to grade a genius-level physicist.
Yeah.
The teacher has to verify complex work they don't fully understand. We hope to use this method to guide future superintelligence.
Well, Anthropic assigned 2 veteran human researchers to this exact problem. These are brilliant people who understand machine learning deeply. They spent 7 grueling days grinding through this alignment problem.
7 days.
Yeah, 7 days. They were manually trying to close the safety performance gap.
And after all that time, they only recovered 23% of the gap.
Yeah.
Which really highlights just how intensely difficult this alignment work actually is. The human baseline is incredibly slow, and it is highly resource intensive.
But then Anthropic tried a completely different approach to the problem.
Yeah, they unleashed 9 Claude Opus 4.6 agents on the exact same task.
Just the AI agents.
Right. They let the AI attempt to align itself autonomously.
Okay.
These 9 agents worked in parallel for just 5 days.
Just 5 days.
5 days. They divided up the dataset, proposed hypotheses, and tested them continuously. And they recovered 97% of that exact same performance gap.
That is a staggering leap in both performance and efficiency.
Yeah, they essentially reached the exact same result as training on perfect data.
And the total cost for that raw compute was almost nothing.
Right.
It was only $18,000 in total.
Which is crazy.
That breaks down to roughly $22 per Claude research hour.
I mean, the cost-to-performance ratio here is unlike anything we have ever seen before. At $22 an hour, this Claude research fleet is undeniably cheap, but it performs at the absolute highest levels of scientific rigor.
You know, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself on a daily basis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, watching an AI slowly forget instructions over a long chat. And here Claude is out there inventing entirely new alignment methodologies.
It really is wild.
It is like hiring a Nobel Prize-winning lab for the price of a junior intern.
And the part of the paper that genuinely gave me pause is how they did it.
Okay, how so?
The agents invented methodologies to solve the problem that humans didn't recognize.
Wait, what?
Yeah, these optimization paths were so deeply unfamiliar that human authors couldn't categorize them.
Really?
It was pure mathematical optimization, completely without human cognitive bias.
Wait, if the Anthropic engineers couldn't even categorize the methods, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
How do we actually trust this final result? I mean, AI is notorious for gaming tests to get a positive reward.
Right.
How do we know this isn't just a highly advanced hallucination?
Well, that is exactly the right question to ask here. Anthropic didn't just take the AI's word for it.
Okay, good.
They rigorously verified the final outputs against perfect ground truth data.
Meaning testing answers against a known, perfectly accurate data set.
Right, exactly. They had a hidden data set of perfectly aligned responses.
Ah, okay.
When they checked the AI's complex, unrecognized work against that hidden key, it matched perfectly.
Wow.
The agents didn't cheat or game the system. They just found an entirely alien path to the correct answer.
They bypassed human logic structures entirely to solve the math.
Exactly.
So they're solving alignment using math we don't even understand yet.
We don't understand it, but we can verify that it works flawlessly.
Right.
And that brings us to the next massive infrastructure challenge.
Yeah, well, if an AI can operate at a Nobel Prize level autonomously, we have a serious issue. We can't just run it locally on a standard developer's laptop.
No, definitely not.
We need a secure way to execute its brilliant ideas, but we absolutely cannot give it the keys to the castle.
Right.
Enter OpenAI's new runtime architecture.
So until now, building an autonomous agent meant juggling a lot of fragile pieces.
Yeah.
You had to manually manage the language model, the code environment, and the memory. If one piece broke, the entire agent collapsed.
Which happened constantly.
Exactly. But OpenAI just eliminated that entire category of failure. They turned their complex agents SDK into a seamless, long-running runtime.
They solved the massive production gap that was holding everyday developers back.
Yes.
The biggest technical breakthrough here is something they call the cleaner boundary.
Right.
OpenAI standardized a brilliant two-box system to solve this security nightmare.
It finally fixes the inherent danger of giving an AI access to your actual computer.
Thank goodness.
So the first box in this system is the trusted control layer.
Okay.
Think of this as the high-security cockpit of the entire operation. It securely holds your API keys, your private secrets, and your databases.
So it's the only part of the system that touches your private, sensitive information.
Exactly. Then you have the second box, which is the untrusted work layer.
Right.
This is the isolated workshop where the actual agent operates. It is less like a traditional software firewall.
And much more like a biohazard glove box.
That is a perfect way to visualize it.
The agent can play with the code inside the box all at once, but it has zero physical connection to the environment where your actual passwords live.
Right. The agent runs complex code, reads large files, and executes tasks entirely in there.
Safely isolated.
Yeah, if it accidentally generates malicious code, it stays trapped inside this box.
Okay, but what if it needs data?
If it wants to query your secure database, it can't write the SQL directly. It has to ask the trusted control layer for the specific data.
And the control layer executes the secure query on its behalf.
Yeah.
It hands only the final safe result back through the glove box port. The agent never actually sees your primary credentials.
Exactly. And this isolation setup also solves another massive problem with AI computing.
What's that?
It allows these complex agents to survive extremely long pauses.
Ooh, beat. Imagine scaling that pause and resume feature to millions of long-running tasks.
Yeah.
2-sec silence. It completely changes how we think about computing time.
It alters the entire landscape of software development. If a coding task takes 3 hours to run, the runtime can snapshot the state.
Okay.
It essentially freezes the exact configuration of the virtual machine's memory. It can pause the agent entirely and rehydrate it much later on.
Meaning it wakes the agent up exactly where it left off.
Right, and this works even if the underlying physical hardware changes completely.
Wow.
You can start a massive task on a server in California and finish it in Tokyo.
But, this feels like a very direct shot at Anthropic's managed agents.
Oh, completely.
Anthropic wants to manage the infrastructure and host the agents for you on their servers.
Right.
OpenAI is giving you the underlying blueprint to run it anywhere you want. Why is OpenAI just handing out the blueprint instead of charging to host it?
Well, it is a massive strategic play for total developer ecosystem dominance.
Okay.
By giving away the blueprint freely, they make their runtime the global standard.
Ah, I see.
Every developer builds on their specific architecture. This quietly locks the entire industry into the OpenAI software ecosystem.
Anthropic wants to host the party. OpenAI just wants to sell the blueprints.
Exactly. They want their foundational architecture running on every server globally.
Yeah.
And while these massive companies battle over the back-end infrastructure, the front end is rapidly changing too.
Right.
The actual tools everyday developers and users touch are quietly getting massive autonomous upgrades.
OpenAI's new runtime solves the back-end containment problem. But if agents are going to be building software, they need front-end tools that can keep up. Let's talk about what Cursor and NVIDIA just built together to address this.
Yes.
They created a highly specialized multi-agent system that auto-optimizes CUDA kernels.
Right. Which are the core instructions that tell a graphics card how to process.
Exactly. Optimizing those instructions is usually incredibly tedious and highly specialized manual work.
Oh, yeah.
It involves managing memory allocation on the GPU at the absolute hardware level. Humans spend weeks trying to shave milliseconds off processing times. But this new multi-agent system achieved a 38% average speedup.
38%. That is wild.
Yeah.
They tested this rigorous system across 235 real-world computing workloads. The AI used massive trial and error at scale to find unprecedented optimizations.
Right.
That is a massive leap in raw processing efficiency for AI hardware.
Well, if you are listening to this right now and you write code for a living, pay attention.
Yeah.
This specific Cursor and NVIDIA update isn't just interesting industry news. It is a highly accurate preview of your job description in 3 years.
And Google certainly isn't sitting quietly on the sidelines right now either.
No, they are not.
They finally shipped a deeply integrated native Gemini application for Mac users. You don't have to switch browser tabs anymore.
Thank God.
You just press Option+Space, share your active screen, and get instant context-aware help.
But the audio upgrades from Google are arguably even more profound. Google Gemini 3.1 Flash TTS just turned basic text-to-speech into advanced directing.
You can now tightly control tone, pacing, and subtle human emotion.
Wow.
You can literally tell the AI to increase the sarcasm by 15%.
That is amazing.
And you can generate complex multi-speaker dialogues seamlessly in over 70 different languages.
It's completely shifting us from being typists to being film directors of audio.
Exactly.
We aren't just typing sterile words anymore. We are orchestrating the complex emotional delivery of the information.
Meanwhile, OpenAI is pushing aggressive boundaries on the cybersecurity front as well.
Right.
They just launched GPT 5.4 Cyber, specifically designed for trusted security professionals. It gives these carefully vetted defenders far fewer system refusals. It also grants them highly powerful new reverse engineering abilities.
Well, wait. Giving GPT 5.4 cyber reverse engineering capabilities sounds dangerous. Are we arming the defenders or the attackers at this point?
I get that.
Giving an AI the ability to decompile malware sounds incredibly dangerous to me.
It is a highly delicate balance of trusting legitimate security researchers.
Okay.
You have to give the good guys the advanced tools to find severe vulnerabilities first.
Right.
If you restrict the AI's capabilities too much out of fear, you create a blind spot.
I see.
Only the highly motivated bad actors will find the critical flaws manually. The AI needs to trace the execution path of malware to neutralize it.
We're handing the smartest digital lockpicks directly to the people building the safes.
Right, exactly. And they need those lockpicks to test the safes before deployment.
Yeah.
But all of this relentless software innovation has a very real physical cost.
It does.
These complex multi-agent systems require massive amounts of continuous computation. We are hitting the hard physical limits of the real world right now.
We are talking about physical servers, massive energy consumption, and transforming human jobs.
Right.
Fortune recently published a really illuminating piece analyzing this exact friction. AI was initially supposed to make our daily digital lives much easier. Instead, AI backlash is escalating way beyond simple online debates about art.
Yeah, we're seeing this manifest clearly in real-world data center protests globally.
People are legitimately concerned about local power grids and massive water usage.
And they should be. Data centers require millions of gallons of water just for basic server cooling.
Wow.
The physical infrastructure required to run these new models is absolutely staggering.
Right.
And we're seeing major corporate strategies radically shift because of this physical friction.
Yeah. OpenAI is actually pulling back from its Stargate Norway data center deal.
Really?
Microsoft is stepping in and taking that massive physical project over entirely. Which raises a deeply fascinating question about OpenAI's current trajectory. Is this simply a temporary cost reset before their highly anticipated IPO? Or is this a much deeper shift toward an asset-light infrastructure strategy?
Well, it's hard to know for sure what's happening behind those closed doors.
True.
But the global investment money is still flowing at a truly staggering rate. Excel just announced plans to invest $5 billion in AI companies worldwide.
$5 billion.
Yeah, they clearly still see massive growth potential despite the physical infrastructure bottlenecks.
But let's look closely at the human cost of all this unprecedented scale.
Right.
Everyone immediately assumes AI is actively destroying the current job market.
Yeah, that is the fear.
But it's easy to blame AI for job losses, honestly. The macroeconomic reality is the actual culprit right now, not the algorithms.
LinkedIn data actually backs up that exact perspective on the labor market.
Oh, really?
Yeah, overall hiring has fallen roughly 20% since the year 2022. But that drop is mainly tied directly to sustained high interest rates. It is not actually AI taking human jobs away in massive numbers just yet.
Right.
Companies are simply borrowing less money, so they are hiring fewer people.
However, the LinkedIn data does show a massive transformation on the horizon. Global job skills are projected to shift 70% by the year 2030. Beat. If jobs aren't disappearing yet, what does a 70% skill shift actually feel like for a normal worker?
It feels like a fundamental daily transition of your entire work routine.
Okay.
You will slowly start doing repetitive manual tasks entirely. Instead, you will start managing an autonomous AI doing those tasks.
Right.
If you are an accountant, you won't be manually building complex spreadsheets. You will be asking the AI agent why it structured the spreadsheet that specific way.
I see.
You will transition from task execution to strategic oversight.
We aren't losing our jobs, but our daily tasks are completely transforming.
Exactly. You become an editor, a director, and a strategic manager of digital labor.
All right. We are going to take a very quick break. Sponsor. And we are back. Okay, let's zoom out and carefully synthesize what this all means.
Yeah, let's do it.
We have officially crossed a major technological threshold in the industry today. We are no longer just prompting static language models to generate clever text.
We are deploying highly autonomous workers into our complex digital environments.
Right.
These digital workers can align themselves and correct their own complex behavior. They can invent optimization math that completely bypasses human understanding.
We are giving them secure, deeply isolated workshops to write code inside.
Yeah.
We are building biohazard glove boxes so they can't break our critical systems. And we're watching as this brand new digital workforce reshapes global physical infrastructure.
It really is.
It is literally transforming our daily job skills in real time before our eyes.
I strongly encourage you to review your own daily tasks tomorrow morning. Look closely at the highly repetitive work you do every single day.
Yeah, good exercise.
Ask yourself critically which of those tasks are ripe for the untrusted work layer. What specific workflows can you safely hand off to an autonomous agent today?
I will leave you with this final lingering thought to mull over. If an AI can now automate its own complex safety and alignment at $22 an hour, 2-sec silence, what happens when these agents start designing the next generation of agents entirely without us in the loop? Out to your own music.